Hey Primals, welcome to your weekly overview with a twist. I'm not going to talk about today's programming over the week, it's already launched, but I wanted to give you a video based around standards and why we do them. Obviously, you can see I'm in a hotel room doing my a course on CrossFit Level 1, and one of the things that I wanted to bring up now that I've got a clearer understanding of why, because for me personally, it's something that I didn't understand fully the reasons for it, but I've got a better understanding of why we have them. When we look at our training in a group session, you see it come up in the week, you have a look at the weekly overview, and all of you will know that it's different every time, it is varied. But you will also know there's themes that come up and come forwards, especially with the strength stuff. You'll notice that with us just finishing off our front floor press, our clean and jerks, sumo deadlifts, all coming to an end. That was varied, but it was very much not random. There was building up and process to that. Now, when we look at the workouts, some of us might look at them and go, why they're always random, they're always different. However, we do repeat them, they are measurable because we do them again and in the same workout, and most of us look at the time of the workout or the rounds and reps as our measuring stick to see if we've improved. That is the bit that is not varied and random, it's measurable. We can see as coaches whether you're doing them well or not so well. And because we do them again and again, it's repeatable. We can do it again. If I tell you to do a squat, for example, we all know what an air squat looks like. We can do it again. So for some of us, we talk about trying to get to the full depth of a squat, and use this squat as an example because it's one that some of us struggle with and some of us are naturally good at, or we've practiced a lot of. So let's say we squat, and I'm upright at this height, so this is where my hips are, and I can squat this low, which is say a half squat, so halfway down. And that's as naturally as far as you can go, because we haven't got the mobility or the strength to go below that. But let's say that's where we get to, and we can do that consistently. We can go from this high point, so upright, to this point each time, and we move a certain distance every time. Now there might be someone else in the room that can every time start at the top and squat all the way to below parallel, as we talk about in sessions. Now if you look at that measuring stick on this camera, that is literally double, so we're travelling double the distance compared to the person who might be limited in their squat. Now both of these are measurable because the person who's not so good at squats has now got to that point, and they can do that for the 10 reps they've got to do, and that's how quickly can they get that. That's their time. Let's say it takes them 15 seconds, great. And then the person who can get to the bottom of the squat and back up, and it takes them 15 seconds. But both of them are now measurable because we've both been consistent in the squats we do. So then when we come back to doing that test of 10 seconds for 10 air squats for time, what's happened is if the person who's limited with their squat gets back and up down there and they do it in 14 seconds, they've improved. Let's say this person has got better at squats and now they can get below parallel and they get 17 seconds, and that's where we can get disappointed in a workout. Well, I haven't beaten my time, I did it 15 seconds last time. So that part there where we've lost time but we've got better because we can now squat deeper is a result in an improvement, but we can't measure that. Now if that person was still limited and they beat themselves, then they've got better, so it's measurable. That's where you want to write your notes more clearly in your chalk it, so when you do that retest, I squat to full depth every time. I squatted to my limitation every time in this workout. So when in 6 months time I squatted to my limitation every time, hopefully you'll see some improvements, or I squatted all the way down and got all the way up to get my time. Now let's say we've done that workout, we come back again, and I'm the person that can go from the top all the way down to the bottom, and I've managed to do that squat all the way through, but I know that 15 seconds I felt a bit fitter, I was a bit more awake that day, and I'm going to do that workout again, and this time I squat but because I want to beat that second, on the last 2 reps of those 10 air squats I've got to do from the top to the bottom, instead of going all the way down to that baseline, I go to here and back up for those last 3, and it means I get the same time, or I get 1 second off. Let's say I get 14 seconds. Now, in a weird way, I haven't cheated anyone else, I've cheated myself, because what I haven't done is, yes, I might have beaten myself, but when I come to do that workout in a year's time, I might not know that I cheated those last 2 reps by not going that last bit. So when I come to do that workout again, I'm going to be disappointed, because I might go, okay, I'm going to do these 15 air squats to as low as I can each time, and I've massively failed because I did 15 seconds again. This is me staying at the same fitness level for these 3 tests. Does that make sense? So being consistent and having those standards for yourself and for the full standards, so a wall ball, a air squat, back squat, getting to that depth that you can get to for that movement. For example, the floor press, getting those elbows to touch the floor before driving up. All of those, if we say we just cheated by not touching the elbows and driving up, then when we come to redo that, it's not measurable, because we've not done it properly or not got to the point that we can get to. It's hard to see that improvement because we don't know what we've done, and it's not repeatable. If we can get all those things in and keep the standards consistent for every workout, which I know isn't like going to happen every day, because of injuries, niggles, hip bit sore, fatigue from the previous day. If we can keep those standards and consistency in that range of motion, then this measurable, not random but varied workout system is going to definitely improve, because you are now measurable. I personally find this is really helpful when we look at how seeing improvements from all over the board is something that is hard to measure, especially with cardio fitness. So rowing is easy because there's a screen, but like air squats and sit-ups, those 2 movements as a workout, let's say 10, 10, 10, 2 rounds of 10s for both the sit-ups and the air squats, that is something that's cardiovascular taxing because it's quick and fiery. But if we don't sit up all the way for the sit-ups, or we don't squat all the way down or as low as we can, when we repeat that test, it won't be something that we can measure. And we want to measure because then we can see that we're getting cardiovascular fitter, because those 2 rounds are easy to do for most individuals. So if we can do that and do it quicker next time, then we are getting cardiovascular and muscular endurance fitness improvements. Does this make sense? If not, write comments in the chalk it, message me or speak to me in person about why standards exist in our gym so we can measure your progress. Have a good week, look forward to seeing the sessions. 1 more day, another 8 hours to go, and then a 7-hour drive. I'll see you guys on Monday night. Have a good weekend.